talk about training, because when I've talked to people on the show, they talk about how intense the training is. What was your story like?
So luckily for me, I have such a wide variety of a sports background. Not saying wrestling it was difficult again because it's a new movement. The most difficult thing for me was learning how to bump, which is if you're not familiar with what bumping is, it's literally where you have to throw yourself back and land safely onto your back. So that was the biggest challenge for me. And when I first started training, I want to say for the first like 2 to 3 months, I didn't tell my parents and I was living with them.
Hmm.
So I had all these bruises. And I remember one time in particular, I was walking in the kitchen and I was just walking by. And again, because of the bumping, my neck was really sore because you're learning. So you keep
Hmm.
getting whiplash. Um, so I had a Batman neck, as I like to say. And I just remember I'm walking this way, and I think my mom's like over here. She asked me a question. I'm like, if I turn like this, she's gonna be like, "What are you doing?" So I had to like take a deep breath in, and I was just like, and I had to turn my neck and just deal with it. Um, but yeah, other than that, like I was pretty fortunate of the group of guys that I came in there with because I there was another female, but she wasn't consistent. Um, so I was just in there with the guys, and I did my first day of training. I purposely dressed like the biggest douchebag possible, wore some big old baggy pants or baggy shorts, basketball shorts, and like a wife beater t-shirt, and my hair in braids, like wearing high tops, just kind of like, I'm here, bro, like leave me alone. So, because I'm like, you don't know what to expect, and I just wanted it to be made clear, like, hey, I'm here to learn how to wrestle. Don't try to get smart. Don't try to flirt. Like we ain't trying to do none of that. I just want to get down to business. I want to learn. Um, and again, like I didn't know the guys, so but if I did, I would have known. I wouldn't have to put on that much of a front. Um, but no, I was very fortunate. The group of guys that I had, they were very helpful and just willing to teach and any questions I had and all that stuff. Um, but yeah, it definitely I think the hardest part was the bumping and hitting the ropes, which are technically cables, and unless you're in WWE, and I don't know if I want to say AEW might have rope. There are very few companies besides WWE that have rope, real rope, which I prefer to hit than cables. So yeah, hitting a cable on your lats, you have to build a callus to it. So that was another thing. But other than that, yeah, because again, I am very played many sports: soccer, basketball, figure skating, gymnastics, dance if you call dance a sport, kickboxing. I
Yeah,
know I'm missing a little bit of
that,
softball, so
that's
I did a little bit of everything, and so I had a pretty good I was able to pick up things quick physically.
yeah. I mean, that's quite an array of sports. I mean, that's a diverse background you have. So it seems like you were able to pick up quickly, like you just said. So you were able to make that transition. And was there any like advice that you got from your trainers, pieces of advice that still stick with you today?
Um, slow down. Slow down is one. Another is keep your ears open and your mouth shut. But yeah, there's a lot. Um, most of the training again because I'm me as like like I don't make sure everything kind of means something. And luckily, because I fell in love with the storyteller of wrestling, when that was when you're learning again, you get so into your head about moves and like doing things right. I didn't move this way, stuff like that. It's really easy for you to get lost and all that and forget why you're doing it. So something that sticks with me is like make sure everything means something. Make sure you're telling a story.
Storytelling is very important to professional wrestling because when you're in a feud, the fans want to know what's going on. They want to get invested. If you're not getting invested, you're losing them. And you have to figure out a way to bring them back, and that's very important.